Hi guys, my name is Cheyenne and I am brand new to this whole reading world. I used to read as a kid and I did love it, but life got busy and to be honest, I think I also was just scrolling on my phone way too much. And then I started reading again in my early 30s and I completely fell in love with it. I'm so grateful that I started reading, and so I've been watching a lot of book YouTubers and I've learned so much from them and got so many good recommendations. So I was thinking maybe I could do that too and share with you guys some of my 5-star reads. So first up is a classic, and it is crazy to me that it took me so long to read this book. It is incredible, and that book is Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. This book, you guys, oh my gosh, I feel like I should have, like, Anne is such an, Anne Shirley, she's the main character. I'm sure everyone knows this by now, but I'm new to this, and she's incredible. I related to her so much, and I feel like if I would have read this as a kid, this would have been so beneficial for me. I felt very seen by this book. Like, I relate so much to Anne Shirley. I'm like, I am Anne Shirley, she is me. We're bosom friends. If you've read the book, you know what that means. I love the characters in this book as well, like the side characters. I thought Marilla was such a real character. Like, she felt like someone that I could easily know, and she felt like so well-rounded. And the character of Matthew, who is Anne's kind of adoptive dad, he was also so sweet and incredible. It's just such a wholesome book. Basically, Anne is a orphan, and she, by a kind of series of serendipitous events, she is adopted by Marilla and Matthew, and she moves to the town of Green Gables, and it's just gorgeous. The way that L.M. Montgomery describes the scenery, like the nature scenes in this book, is incredible. It will make you a nature lover. It will make you a lover of all things just flowers and trees, and the way she describes like mundane things. She can take something mundane and make it feel magical, and I loved that so much about this book. I loved Anne. I loved how fun she was. She was dramatic and theatrical and loved so purely. She romanticized life, and it was funny because I mean, in the first book, she's a kid, and I feel like I was learning from her. So I highly recommend this. Anne of Green Gables is definitely a 5-star book. Okay, next up is a contemporary romance, and I wasn't sure if I would like contemporary romances, but I fell in love with this book, and it is If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. You guys, this book, I can't recommend it enough. It's like a warm hug and a cinnamon roll. It's so good. It's, as you can tell, very autumnal. But so this book is about Michelle and Cliff Burke, and it's a love story, it's a romance, and it goes back and forth between their POVs, and it's based in, well, set in a little small town in Vermont. And this small town is so cute. It reminds me a lot of Stars Hollow from Gilmore Girls, which I love Gilmore Girls. So if you love Gilmore Girls, you'll love this. And let's see, the main character, Cliff, he is such a great male lead. I personally don't really like a lot of the like grumpy main character. I've noticed that's like a big trope in contemporary romances, is that the male is very kind of grumpy, but he's only like sunshine for her. I kind of like a guy that's like always sunshine. And might be because he reminds me of my husband, but that might be why I absolutely fell in love with Cliff Burke. Such a great character. He's also a single father too, which I wasn't sure how I'd feel about reading a love story with one of the characters is already a dad, but it worked so well. And Michelle as well, the main female lead, I loved her. I cared about her. I wanted to know more about her. And the small town that this is based in, I mean, it's a small town of Vermont, and oh my gosh, I didn't mention, it's also, the setting is in the like late 90s. I mean, amazing, like amazing. I loved it. It was so comfortable. It was so nostalgic. This book is full of nostalgia, full of heart. And I mean, if you just want a good time, if you want like something that you know is gonna feel good, a feel good read, like a very escapism type book, read this. If it makes you happy, it's absolutely 5 stars for me. Okay, next up is a book that I have heard a lot of other book YouTubers talking about, and that's actually how I found it. And that book is called The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This book felt like warm honey. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, that sounds weird, but it was so warm and sweet, and it was just so good. It felt, so basically I'll explain the plot a little bit. So the main character's name is Clementine West, which again, like, Clementine West is such a great literary name. But anyway, so she inherits this apartment from her aunt, and her aunt told her that, you know, a little story of this apartment goes back in time 7 years, always 7 years. Like, one day you're gonna come in here and it's gonna be 7 years earlier. And she's kind of like, okay, whatever. She doesn't believe it. But she later finds out that her aunt was telling the truth, and this apartment does indeed time travel. So this is a time traveler romance. Also, the male lead in this book, I pictured him to be like a Matthew McConaughey. I pictured him as Matthew McConaughey, and yeah, that might have made it better. Maybe it did. But it was so good. I loved it. And their romance really felt like it was based off of friendship and connection and vulnerability. And when I closed this book, I just, like, when I finished it, I felt so warm and fuzzy inside. I mean, what more can you ask for when you're done reading a book? You know what I mean? Like, it just, if you want something that you know is gonna make your day a little brighter, also give you those like butterflies feelings, pick this one up. It's 5 stars. Okay, next up is a book that is in the genre of Christian fiction. Now, I've been a little bit like trepidatious about entering into this genre, just because I know a lot of it can be kind of cheesy, but I did my research and I decided to go ahead and dive into this book, and I'm so glad I did. It is absolutely 5-star, and that is The Extraordinary Deaths of Mrs. Kipp. This book, guys, this book changed my life, like, straight up, and in the best way. So the main character, Mrs. Kipp, she's an elderly woman, and she's at the end of her life. She's moving into a end-of-life care center. And then the other main character is Aiden Kelly, and she's the young woman who works for the local newspaper, and she is given an assignment to write an obituary for Mrs. Kipp. And this assignment feels very like beneath her. It's nothing she wants to be doing, but she decides to go ahead and she has to go ahead and interview Mrs. Kipp, and she finds out how extraordinary Mrs. Kipp is, how extraordinary her life was. And Mrs. Kipp's like motto for life is that true love is dying 1,000 deaths to self in the name of love. And I just loved that. It was so beautiful. This book made me cry, made me smile, made me expanded my mind. And also, one of the things I love about this is, if you're a Christian, like, you know how when you're reading the Bible sometimes you'll feel like the presence of God is in this book? Like, I had that feeling with this book where I was like, I feel like the Spirit is moving in this book, like, for real. Which is so amazing and rare, like, I think extremely rare. So this book is so special. It really expanded my faith and gave me a lot of hope too. It's a very hope-filled book. While even though there is, you know, talks of death in this book, you know, there you go. It was still very uplifting, very hopeful, and I recommend this book to anyone and everyone. 5 stars. Okay, next up is a book from Emily Henry called Funny Story. This is another contemporary romance. I have heard a lot about Emily Henry on the book YouTube sphere, and apparently I think she's like kind of like the Nora Ephron of rom-coms, but in the book world, and I can see why. I mean, this lady, she hooks you. Like, the very first pages, I was hooked. I needed to know how this was gonna end. So if you're someone who it's hard to like get through a whole book for you, I definitely recommend this one. The main characters are Daphne and Miles, and there is a fake dating trope in here. They're roommates, and it's just, it's so good. The book starts with Daphne being in a very broken place, but she rebuilds her whole life, which is something I loved about this book. Is Miles falling in love was definitely a big component to rebuilding her life, but it was more than just being in a relationship that helped her build her life again. And I thought that was realistic and just done very well. This book is very rom-com-ish. The main character, Miles, he reminded me so much of Nick Miller from New Girl in the best way possible. So Funny Story by Emily Henry is an absolute 5-star for me. Okay, next up we have Shady Hollow by, I don't know if I can say this name, Juno Black. I think I said it, I hope. Juno Black. So okay, I'm someone who I like the idea of like mysteries, but I can't really handle like murder or death, but like in the way of darkness. Like darkness is just kind of a lot for me. I don't know, I'm very like sensitive. So when I found this book, it was perfect because all the main characters are cute little woodland creatures, and it is the coziest mystery possible, I think. Like, I can't see it get any cozier than this. So basically, I mean, the main character is a fox, and she's a detective, and one day, in the town of Shady Hollow, a like grumpy old toad washes up on the shore, and they realize he's been murdered, and so they have to find out what in the world happened. And there's like a character who's a raven who owns a bookstore. There's a moose who owns a coffee shop. I mean, it doesn't get any cuter than that. Like, it's just so cozy. But it's also a really well done mystery. Like, I was definitely reading it being like, what's gonna happen? Who the heck did it? Like, I can't figure this out. So if you want something that is gonna kind of a page turner but not feel like too scary or anything that's gonna like be traumatizing, this is the perfect book for that. I highly recommend it. Get a big comfortable blanket and something hot to drink and cozy up with Shady Hollow because it's 5 stars. Okay, last but not least is the Mistborn series. Now, I know I just said that I'm very sensitive, but I read this for my husband, and he, you know, because they're not the most cozy books. Like, they're amazing, incredible books, but they're not for the faint of heart. But I'm so glad that I read them. I'm so glad that I got to visit this world. So these books are classic, good versus evil. The main characters in these books are very, like, these books are very transportive. Is that a word? Like, you feel like you've been transported to this world. You feel like you know these characters, and it's very twisty, turny. The main characters, it's like a band of people who want to overthrow the evil empire, and I can't say too much because there's so many spoilers, but it keeps you on your toes. It keeps you so invested. Like, you're like, I felt like when I was reading this, I was like, we have to win. Like, I felt like I was in it, and I was like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna do this? So yeah, obviously I got very into it. Definitely some trigger warnings. There are like 2 scenes in these books that I kind of like, I could have done without that. But overall, just quality writing, a quality story. I gave the first one, which is Mistborn, 5 stars. Second one was Well of Ascension, and I gave it 4 stars. And I did give Hero of Ages, the last one, 5 stars. And when I finished these books, I had a moment where I was like on the last few pages, and I was like, I'm never gonna hear from these characters again. Like, this is goodbye. And I was like, it was like, I just felt like I was saying goodbye to these people that I knew and that I cared about. So obviously that's a sign of a great book. So I do recommend these. If you are sensitive like me, just don't read it at nighttime. Okay guys, so that is it. Those are my 5-star reads. I'm sure I'm gonna have so many more in the future. Like I said, I just started this whole reading journey. So I'm really excited to see all the new books and all the new worlds that I get to visit thanks to my newfound love of reading. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you finished this video, seriously, thank you. Wow. And maybe you'll see me again. I might make more videos. We'll see how this goes. But thank you guys so much, and bye.